My wife is 36 weeks pregnant. Induction date is set, and last week I went to Little Rock for prenatal appointments. We did some investor meetups. I did some cold outreach, and I also got 3 new leads from that. This is what that week actually looked like. The week started the way most weeks start. Nothing glamorous. Did some cold outreach where I reached out to new people through Facebook DMs, school communities, LinkedIn, etc. And started those new relationships. And then after some time doing that, I set some time to do warm outreach where I reached out to past connections, relationships that I already have, reach out to even more warmer leads and closer to hot, and see how the deals that they're currently working on are going and what we can do to move those along. I also did some content planning where I looked at what do I have that I've done here in the last week, and also what are the conversations that I'm having, and how can we turn those into pieces of content that the referral partners and investors who are seeking funding could benefit from those. I'm also doing a rebrand. Now, why a rebrand so soon after starting the business? Well, because the direction that I've taken this and kind of what I stand for has kind of evolved. I also put out a Substack article. This is Substack article number 2. And this one was special because it was a little bit more intentional, but it also just flowed well. It just felt really good as I was writing it. And I've grown to really appreciate the writing process of the written content. And so whether it's the Substack articles or just smaller posts that I post in other communities that I'm in, it's become one of my favorite things that I do on a weekly basis. So if you don't already follow my Substack, link is in the description below. Be sure to follow. And then I had mentioned that there's 3 new leads that came out of it. 2 of them are double closes, 1 a Morby method. And actually, as I was planning out the post and what I was going to do for this video, I got another inquiry. Not sure what's going to come of that, but that's for a double close as well. And so that was the first 3-4 days of the week. And towards the end of the week was our monthly investor meetup in Springdale. And that's very focused on networking and bringing in a source of education. I've been doing that for, I don't know, probably 7 to 8 months. And I'm not the host of it, but I do like to help out a lot and kind of just welcome people in and help move the pieces along. And so it's just crazy to see how that's come along, and we're not even getting close. It's growing, right? You have some people will come in some weeks and some they won't. And so it's nice to see kind of a revolving door of all the experience levels that are coming through and bringing their knowledge and sharing it with others. I actually had a conversation with 2 investors who were newer to the space, but they're already just crushing because they're having conversations, which is something that even I failed to do early on in my time. Is I just kind of like dove into the books, dove into the videos, and held off on doing the work of outreach, marketing, lead gen. And so they have 2 RV park leads in Arkansas that they're looking to take down. And since they're newer, they're looking for some guidance, both on the funding side and also if there's anyone that just knows how to close those deals. So I've reached out to some of my investor friends that do RV parks regularly and are looking to take down more. And so I'm going to look to pair them with them. So if that doesn't work out, I am also looking for others just to see how I can help. Obviously, it's not my focus. I focus on the funding side, but I like to connect people to others who are doing deals, right? And so if they need a little help and I have contacts in my phone book, why not do it? And then the very next day, my wife and I drove to Little Rock, 3.5 hours away, for her prenatal appointments. We're coming down to the wire. Second kid, life is about to change. It's just crazy to think how, a little over 2 years ago, it was a similar thing. We were headed to the hospital and preparing for a child, and now we're about to do it for a second round. It was really cool because this time we got to do 3 hours there, 3 hours back, a total of 6 hours where we got to talk about this chapter that we're about to enter, right? The unknowns that we're walking into. This is a second child. And so we were always told that the first and the second are they're not the same thing. Obviously, you know a little bit more about what you stand for as a parent, but handling 2 kids is not the same. So we're excited. Of course, we're bracing ourselves, but we're excited for the season that we're going into. We're just overall grateful to God for even being in this position, because we know that there's times where we haven't really felt a reason to be grateful, right? Sometimes we're just in pain or questioning about why things are the way they are in life. And so we got to spend a lot of time during this trip reflecting and having some deep conversation, as well as looking for handling just logistics and planning this trip out, because we're going to be out there for a month postpartum. And so just get some medical stuff done, and we don't have to get into the details, but actually on the way back we started working on logistics of housing and stuff like that. And the very next day, on Saturday, we actually got news of a local realtor who had a house open there. And so we got to talking with her, and she's a very kind lady, and so she's gonna help us out, let us stay there for an affordable price that would be super helpful for us while we're there. And we have our son and have family out to help us, as well as our dogs, because we're gonna have to figure out what to do with our dogs. And so that was very nice. And so the whole day was just a really good reminder of why it is that my wife and I do what we do, right? While we pour ourselves into business, into giving back to others, and into parenthood, and to each other. And so yeah, just very, very exciting and grateful time. So here's what I keep coming back to after a week like that. The online version of entrepreneurship makes it sound like it's clean, and I feel like even myself early on, and even sometimes now when I come across posts, I see things and I'm like, man, that it looks like they got it down pat, it's perfect. But that's just what they're showing, and it's easy to get lost in that and forget and want to replicate exactly that, and missing the fact that it's taking them sometimes, it's taking them repetition, it's taking them different takes, kind of like some of this video did, to even get to that point. And so the real version is actually much messier than what is shown on the internet. And so in my case, my wife is 36 weeks pregnant, and I still having to do outreach. I'm having to figure out ways to still do the work. Like right now, I'm out here in the car at 10 p.m. filming this video so that I can get it posted. And so very grateful, but also tired at the same time. And that's just this entrepreneurship. It's building businesses while having to still live a life, right? And so not necessarily a problem that needs to be fixed, but just something real that is going on is what it looks like. And so if you're in that kind of week right now, it's not that you don't got it organized, or that you're doing a terrible job. It's just how it is, right? And so you definitely get better over time. My process, especially with the writing process, which is kind of funny because I started my whole content creation part with video, short form, and I found that the writing process has actually been easier. So anyways, that's a story for a different time. But my name is Luis Alvarado. I run a transactional funding business helping real estate investors scale and close deals fast. I'm documenting this journey. I'm sharing my wins, the hard weeks, all of it. And if that's something that you'd like to follow along with, and possibly even do something similar yourself, follow me. If you want to look at my short form, if you want to see the Substack, follow that. That'll be in the description below. I appreciate you. And if you have a deal that needs funding, or just questions about how things work, follow along, shoot me a message, and I'd love to chat about it. See you next week when I post the next video. This is video number 2. Thank you.